Hello, nice to have you join me on this week edition of our Splendor Show. My name is Glory Okun. We promise to always update you with various tourism activities in Nigeria, and on this particular edition, we are bringing to you the visit by Taiwan. They actually came to Lagos State, Nigeria to visit some of our tourist destinations, and at the end of their visit, they said they were so amazed with what they saw. But they said they were not really having enough time to go around some of the places they've heard about, and they promise to come back next time. Check it out, and I'll be right back.
Hi.
These 11 tourists from Taiwan were in Lagos to explore various tourist destinations. They began their tour with a visit to National Museum in the island, Lagos. On ground to receive them was Mr. Jemmy Alade. He is a tour operator who has been in the tourism business for several years to promote tourism in Nigeria. Museum serves as a place for arts, culture, tourism, research, education, and entertainment. After they have gone round to a gallery to see some of the artworks on display, this is what the leader of the team had to say.
This is a lovely culture here, and it's very deep culture. Something the guiding is good, but we don't have time to know more about this. Yeah, we hope have next time to come again. In Taiwan, we know this country is strong economic, a big country, and we know the oil is come from this country. But most of the Nigeria, the news in Taiwan, we not saw too much. But we know this country in the West, in Africa, it's a more the name. This name is more on the TV report in our country.
When you came into Nigeria, what's the impression you have about how were you received here?
What do you think about Nigeria?
The people you met on...
First, I thought the Nigeria lady is more beautiful than the other country. Yes. The second, I'm just one day come from here, so we still have a one-day schedule here. So we will see. Maybe we'll find another adventure here.
You say Nigerian ladies are beautiful. Have you found one, or do you intend to go back with one?
No, I hope. But unfortunately, I'm married in Taiwan.
They also visited City Mall and Holy Cross Cathedral, which was formerly dedicated in 1881. The Christian worship place now also serves as a tourist destination. Next was Lekki Conservation Center. This was an amazing moment as they made their way through the wooden walkway to the 401-meter canopy walkway, which is the longest in Africa. They took their time to explore different areas of interest within the conservation center. Naked Arts Gallery was not left out. This was where they were dressed up in the Nigerian traditional attires and also taught on how to dance in Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo.
I like to be here. Maybe I'll come back again and again because the people are so friendly and hospitality. I like it. And the dance, the music is very good. I like it.
The home of culture. Welcome to Nigeria. These are friends from China who come to visit Nigeria to see the creativity of Nigeria. We are happy to have them in our mix and also coming to our gallery. It is a great achievement because our country is full of treasure. So we are happy to have them.
I feel great, because this is what we're trying to do, promote tourism in Nigeria. Nigeria has the potential, so we want to make sure that we put Nigeria on the world map for tourism.
The visit is over, but the experience is what they will not forget in a hurry. Wow, that was so amazing. I'm so glad that the people really had fun here in Nigeria, and they will have a story to tell when they get back to their country. Right now, we are bringing to you an exclusive interview with Timothy Mafason. He's a finance minister from Jamaica. He was here in Nigeria to attend Bantaba show in Port Harcourt. Check it out, and I'll be right back.
The Bantaba event as being hosted by Ikechi Ucho has inspired me to, of course, partake in this wonderful activity in Nigeria in the promotion of, on the one hand, our sovereign state Okompong in Jamaica, but on the other hand, with the agenda of really building this necessary bridge between Okompong and Nigeria, between the diaspora and continental Africa. So this is all about self-trade, enhancing or promoting travel between African peoples, both on the continent and in the diaspora. Been very successful so far. In terms of the major takeaways, I could sum it up in one word: cooperation. And I can extend that one word to one phrase: Pan-African cooperation. So what I've definitely learned here is that Nigeria is opening its arms to the diaspora, it's opening its arms to the Caribbean, it's opening its arms to us in Okompong, and we're going to embrace that 100% and build a bridge in a new era of Pan-African cooperation. The whole world knows about Jamaica in terms of reggae music and our dance culture, so I would rather not talk about Jamaica and focus on Okompong, which is, we are a sovereign state in the mountains of Jamaica, and first and foremost, we are the oldest sovereign community in the Western Hemisphere, established in 1739. So we belong to that cadre of Africans that we like to call as the first African revolutionary fighters. When the British were doing their best to oppress our people within the Caribbean, it was our ancestors that fought them and successfully defeated them and created those free communities within Okompong, within Moortown, within Scots Hall. We have 5 maroon communities within the island of Jamaica. And it's from there that you still find this deep embracement of African culture and African tradition. In fact, we don't even define ourselves as being Caribbeans. We define ourselves as being Africans in the Caribbean. I'm a Pan-Africanist at heart and an economist and a businessman. And what I regard tourism as being is the backbone to economic development. So when we talk about the travel industry, we talk about the need to put infrastructure in place which is conducive to supporting travelers visiting your community. So that means building hotels, building roads, putting in the proper promotions that are conducive to generating an interest for visiting. So tourism isn't just about laying on the beach. Tourism is hard investment. Tourism is direct investment. And from my portfolio, in terms of my promotion, ultimately even being here is an act of that promotion. And in Akampong, we've taken the steps to put new structures in place, both institutionally in the terms of our government and how we interact with the international community, and locally with regards to how our local people are kind of going out and beating that local drum to get all of those tourists on the island of Jamaica to find their way to the mountains and come up to Akampong. In the context of Akampong, our greatest sources of foreign revenues comes from remittances from those living abroad. So you have those Maroons living in Canada and the United States and the UK who are sending money back, obviously, to support their local families and those members in the community. But more importantly, from a touristic perspective, is their journey back home and them making the effort to bring their friends back home. Because one thing you'll recognize about our colorful touristic audience is every time a Jamaican or a Maroon goes abroad, they bring people back with them. So Jamaica as an island in and of itself is a buzz place for friends to bring friends. Actually, we've already begun within the physical monument side. We are currently working with our architects to finalize the design for the door of return. We've also acquired, as I indicated, Fort Cromartine, which is being dedicated to the door of return. It's an old slave castle in Ghana. And from the years 1650 to 1720, all slaves from Western Africa that went to Jamaica were held in that very slave castle. So it was an important capture for us to be able to acquire this castle, or at least have it dedicated to us so that we could use it in this initiative. So the steps have already begun. In Jamaica, obviously, across the island, there are so many things to do in terms of unwinding and relaxing. But as a family man, as a father of two wonderful children, I love to be able to explore with my children and travel with my children, you know, to kind of take them into nature. And eventually, you know, it's my next target, now that I've been in a place like Nigeria, for example, is to really bring my children to the continent and educate them on the continent, because I spend a lot of my own relaxation period time just kind of informing myself about what's happening on continental Africa, and you know, trying to learn some African languages like Twi and Ghana and whatnot, and so that's my relaxation, and that's kind of what I share with my children, and want to incorporate the continent in that as well.
Welcome back. On this last segment, we are bringing to you the pre-lecture by the head of civil service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Oyo-Ita. The lecture was to enlighten the public more on our effort to reposition the civil service for efficient service delivery. Check it out, and I'll be right back. The head of civil service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Oyo-Ita, arrived at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, Abuja, with members of her entourage for the inaugural quarterly civil service lecture series. She was received by top civil servants. few minutes later, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, also arrived, and he was ushered into the hall by the head of civil service and other dignitaries. Without delay, the main business of the day began.
Our task is to make it possible. Our mission is to provide practical, step-by-step assistance, such as this one, to make it happen. As a practical demonstration of our zeal towards achieving this goal, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation elected to kickstart the lecture series with the theme, the Federal Civil Service in a changed environment. Change is now. This goal we all share.
Speaking on the role of the civil service in a changed environment, the change is now. The head of civil service said there is no better time than now in this new challenging environment to change the service for better by leveraging on the support and political will of the present administration.
The challenge of socio-economic and infrastructural development in Nigeria has become a matter that requires fresh ideas to tackle. Thus, the drive for the diversification of the economy has assumed a new urgency, and the reality of the current situation is such that a renewed drive for enhanced revenue generation.
I am very committed, and I took this decision 3 or 4 years ago, to join the crusade for a transformed civil service. And the simple reason is this: there is no more potent power than public policy to turn around the lives of the citizens of this country. As a man in the private sector, however much profits I generate, however much taxes that I pay, with the stroke of a pen, it can be rendered meaningless or valueless. On the other hand, an individual in a public office with the stroke of the pen can do things that will cause perhaps a barber in locality who cannot today run his business without a generator to begin to enjoy uninterrupted power.
The Vice President commended the head of civil service in our effort to reposition the service for efficient service delivery.
The public service elite represents, as we have seen, the most important part in mass development. And again, as Ms. Kainoko said, the power to do great good or great evil lies with the few people who form what we refer to as our civil service. When some in such an elite see the opportunity as one for self-enrichment and corrupt practices, then the nation faces a monumental tragedy. There is no excuse anyway in a nation where the majority are still poor and are struggling to make a living.
He also unveiled the Civil Service Strategic Plan document.
On behalf of the Public Service Federation, the best and most progressive public service in Africa, I have the special privilege and honor of unveiling the Strategic Plan 2017 to 2019 to for the benefit of the public service and our nation and to the glory of God.
I'm really overawed because you can see the excitement, the joy in the faces of the civil servants that were present here, that there's a new vision, a vista for the service. It's an innovation, a different thing that we're talking about now. We are not just calling people together to cry over the good old days
and so on, but we're calling people to look to the future, that what are we leaving for our children and grandchildren.
The head of civil service called on support of the public and private sectors for the successful implementation of our goals, and she concluded her lecture with "Change has come, change is here to stay. The civil service is changing, the change is now." That's how far we can go for this week's edition of our Splendor Show. Thanks for staying with us. We'll be back again next week for more exciting show for you. I'm Glory Okon. Bye for now.